We are here at Dallas Startup Week. This is Fernando Labastida from the Viral Genius Framework, and I'm here with Isaac Carter, CEO and founder of Contolo, and we're doing the Catalyst Effect podcast here all week at Dallas Startup Week.
To be able to sit down and say, let us explain to you why we need to go this way versus that way. We're right alongside of them.
And that's one of the reasons why 80-90% of startups fail. And people come in, they come in with a great idea. For me, I'm seldom impressed by great ideas. I want to see that you have a known market, a known audience, a known problem that you understand, and a solution to a problem for an actual person. For me, that's what impresses me, is the ability to execute that idea. And so many times you get caught up on legal, finance, customer service.
It's fundraising, right? You think about the fundraising roadshow that these startups go on. It's just absolutely incredible. Having been an investor and in the system for a little while, there's often times where I've attended separate events day after day after day, and I've seen the same founders pitch for fundraising at each one of those events.
Yeah, we were told by 3 different people today that a founder's number one job is fundraising. Not even having anything to do with the product, not having anything to do with actually operating the business. They have a team for that. Their job is to raise funds.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know if I agree with that, but I do believe that raising funds or getting access to some sort of capital is an important part of that process. But if that's the only thing that you're doing, then you don't have a product or service that's really taking off. So
yeah, I agree.
So let's get back to the founding of DEC, Dallas Entrepreneur Council. No,
It's called DEC, right?
it's now called the DEC Network. It was originally called the Dallas Entrepreneur Center.
Right.
But it started in 2013 and continued to build and partner with a lot of amazing organizations across North Texas. I think that's really what makes DFW special, is that it's not any one organization, it's multiple organizations. Ryan recently ran Tech Fort Worth, which is a phenomenal organization based in Fort Worth and the oldest incubator in all of North Texas.
Wow.
So they've had some really interesting things going on over there, exits that have happened, multi-billion-dollar exits that have happened. So you want to talk about that?
We're not very good at telling our stories.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's been exits in the $1 billion that have come out of the small little incubator just south of downtown Fort Worth. It's been around for 25 years.
What kind of which are the sort of better known $1 billion exits from?
Yeah, I think really the best way to put. Let me back up half a step, because Tech Fort Worth used to be called Fort Worth MedTech Center.
Okay.
So it had a really deep medical, health, and wellness focus. And so most of the companies that have come out of that incubator accelerator have been mostly focused in health and medical side of things. Just an absolutely incredible track record. But a lot of that stuff is under non-disclosure, right? I mean, companies will exit and they won't promote it. They won't publicize it at all. And I think that's something that we need to think about as a community here. We've got just an incredible ecosystem, and we're building this thing out. And you start looking at some of the folks that are arriving right here in Dallas, like the Texas Stock Exchange as an example.
Right.
You're starting to lay out a full roadmap for these startups, and we just need to start talking.
Yeah.
As Trey has said to me more than one time, we think all things point to Texas, and it's absolutely true.
And so the deck has built some amazing events and programs that really help facilitate this, but I think what we're seeing is, because of the work they're doing and so many other organizations, it has ushered in our desire to build a venture studio here. And I think this really is a new model that we're going to see in funding and supporting of founders, because it's so intentional. There's been so many, 15 years ago, there was a couple hundred venture capitalist firms. Now there's 13,000+.
Yeah.
And so we're running into a situation where there's going to be more capital than there is available for companies to go into. And I think in a state like Texas, with so many amazing resources and so much talent, and so much willingness of the community to help people win, we're going to be able to pull together some really beneficial things for companies that are started here and companies that aren't started here but want to get here as soon as they possibly can.
Yeah, it's amazing. Deck is everywhere. You go to Denton pitch competition, Deck is there. You go to Code Launch, Deck is there. You all are kind of in the background, not necessarily on stage with the spotlight, but they're supporting the startups and supporting the small businesses and working with banks and other people, funding and other organizations, major organizations, to make sure that they understand what the entrepreneurship community needs. And then actually, I saw what Bank of America built and what they deployed around ensuring that people knew what kind of access to funding and grants and everything that there was built right into their business banking suite. And I know that they worked closely with members from DEC to put that in there. And having that community level right here where we, members of, I live in McKinney, I've been operating my business here for 8 years now. And knowing that there are so many people that are sponsoring and backing, supporting all of these different things, it's powerful.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about this North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth corridor ecosystem. So obviously, the Silicon Valley, the kind of like the most high profile of them. Then you had the Boston 128 corridor, with HubSpot and a bunch of those companies. And in Austin, you had the Silicon Hills, with Jillian and Vignette, kind of back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they've had a steady, stream of smaller startups in Austin. But what is it that sets the Dallas-Fort Worth, the whole DEC area ecosystem apart? What is kind of like the differentiator or the unique feature of this area for startups?
I think that really speaks to the thesis that we have in the different markets that we're looking for companies in, and I think that's because we think of DFW as a horizontal market, right? When you look at Boston, or you look at the Bay Area, you look at the areas where they excel in one particular place. I think DFW, we excel in so many places. We've got things like DFW CPG, so we're a big CPG hub. We've got hospitality, we've got oil and gas, we've got energy, we've got infrastructure,
telecommunications,
we've got AI. We can go on and on and on. So I think we're unique in that people can come here and succeed and excel in any single market they want to. But I also think one of the things that makes us different than the Bay Area in particular is that they're out there spreading lots of little bitty checks across lots and lots of companies around ideas. And I actually like that in DFW, companies have to build something there. They can't just come up with an idea. That's not how we fund here. We fund companies that are building traction, that are showing product market fit, that are able to showcase that their product has a customer base that's going to pay for it. Those are things that are fundamentals, which will continue to see companies succeed here, regardless of whether the venture market is high or in a bubble or explode.
It's a business, super business friendly environment. So you think about that, and also the tax efficiencies that come along with the whole state, not just North Texas.
So Isaac and I interviewed a bunch of people earlier today in that room over there, and weren't we talking about this? That most of the people that we interviewed were very practical. They had done the research about the actual problems. They were working with a small group of clients, a small group of beta customers. They were gaining traction. They were achieving product market fit. Solving real problems, which goes to your thesis. With the way Contalo works with companies.
Well, and I think that's one disservice that's been done by the media in startups. We all think that startup world is like Silicon Valley, the television show. You come up with an idea, you raise $1 million, then you go build the idea. And I think the reality is you don't need money to start a company because there's 3 things that you can do that's free. One is is go out and explore and research a market, understand who your customer is. 2, talk to the customer, understand, is the problem that you perceive actual problem, and is your solution solving that problem? And 3, would they pay for said solution and how much? Those are 3 things that don't cost any money. So if you think that you have to have a bunch of money to start building traction around a company, you're wrong. And I think that's where we can really see unbelievable opportunity here, because there's so many corporations, so many subject matter experts, so many customers, as we call them, for your business. And people here are willing to help you. So they're going to spend time with you answering those questions and figuring out how to support you as you grow.
I love that.
You know, we've done 30 hackathons with Code Launch in the last 3 years. A month ago, we grabbed one intern and Cursor and did a hackathon in 6 hours. So we didn't have 5 team members for 48 hours coding. We had one intern, Cursor, a document that I wrote with a prototype, and we had a day in this. We took that prototype over to a founder, proposed it to them, and they bought in. Now we're building the product, invested. So today, you're right, that cost me $300. And now we have a prototype, we have the proof of concept, we have the documentation, we've done our product market fit analysis. It could be 100% wrong, but it seems to fit. And you're right, now we don't need 30, 40 grand, let's build a prototype, and okay, 200 grand, let's try to test the product market fit. A lot of that can be done with AI and advancements in technology in a weekend.
Yeah, there's no excuse not to run an MVP anymore. No, all the advent of all the technology that's out there. If you come and think you're just the power of one that's try to solve a great problem, right? You really got to go out there. There's no excuses.
So, in your venture studio, what kinds of companies are you really excited about?
Yeah, so we're focusing on consumer-centric companies. We're starting with a pretty wide thesis as far as what industry and vertical that's in, and we're going to kind of let the market dictate, right, who comes and how we'll set our thesis correctly. But we're not shying away from too much. It's B2B, B2B2C, direct to consumer, and possibly some C2G. We're just keeping it really consumer-centric. One of our other co-founders is Wade Myers with Eagle Venture Lab, based out of Fort Worth.
Okay.
Their thesis is very narrow, right? B2B, fintech, SaaS, app development, that's what they do. It took them a while to get to that thesis, and they've had a lot of success, defining that, and we're following that model. So I'm really excited about that with the consumer.
Right, exactly. Well, that's very exciting. And what about what are some of the tell us a little bit of some of the stories of some of the entrepreneurs, some of the founders that you've invested in, just kind of some like human interest stories or some success stories or maybe some lessons learned or what have you.
Yeah, well, lucky for you, you're getting us fresh off launching this, so it's brand new. We have been meeting with companies, evaluating companies, looking for our first investment, but we're about 2 weeks in, I think, 2 or 3 weeks in, so it's brand new. We're excited about being a DFW Startup Week to really help meet some new companies. Ryan's speaking at a panel later this week on alternative investment solutions. Thursday night, we're participating as judges in this Texas AI Challenge, which was one of our initial pitch competitions that we're being involved with, looking at AI companies. So we're going to be busy this week, engaging in what's going on here, trying to meet investors, trying to meet startup companies, trying to meet mentors and advisors who can come along and help add to that talent component and that resource component that we bring to a table. So it's coming back home for, in many ways, to be back here. This is my, 12th or 13th startup week. So
you heard it here first, folks. This is a historic moment, the beginning of 1845 Venture Studios here at Dallas Startup Week. This is really exciting.
Yeah. I have a feeling you're going to be busy more than just this week. You guys can sleep in September.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, when you come up with an idea, right? Like we're talking about these founders, and you decide to screen it from the top of the building and see what the reaction is going to be. After we announced, we had over 50 applicants directly through our website, right? And those are founders, potential co-founders, but they were also mentors, partners, support, you name it. It was just absolutely amazing in the first 48 hours, the type of traction that was given to us. Wow.
That's fantastic. And how did it was this just you announcing to your network? You know,
Yeah, partially it was announced to the network. Dallas Business Journal did a story on it. We had a bunch of friends send it out as well and kind of share the message. But I mean, as you guys know, and you'll hear a lot this week, entrepreneurs believe there's a lack of funding for early stage businesses here, and so we're excited to be a resource for founders in North Texas and all over the world that can really benefit from the 1845 thesis, which is Texas is the place to be, you know, and to differentiate ourselves from Silicon Valley one more time. The one thing we have that Silicon Valley doesn't is a stock exchange. So you can come to Dallas, you can launch a company, you can build it, you can IPO it. The future is going to be here, and that's why we believe so much in building this company and focusing on this stage of entrepreneur.
So one thing that I asked a couple of folks that are from angel groups was, what is the one kind of theme that you hear over and over again that doesn't excite you? So one of them was a gentleman said that he gets pitched for doctors, note takers twice, 2, 3, 4 times a week. Everybody comes in, they all want to write the same thing. It's like speech to text for doctors' offices. Is there anything that you hear over and over again that just doesn't excite you?
Oh boy, you know, it's funny. I think back at just some of the recent applicants that we've looked through. I would say, and I'm going to fall back a little bit what we talked about before. Come with customer validation. Come with a conversation. If you don't have that, it doesn't excite me certainly. But you know, everything has AI on it today, and everything should have AI on it today.
Yeah, I don't think you even need to say
That's
AI
just
anymore.
table
You're
You'd be
business.
surprised. People differentiate themselves with the AI. So yeah, I think maybe that I've heard over and over and over again. We're different because we are AI. I think it's time to maybe look beyond that horizon.
Yeah, I think for me, I respect entrepreneurs and builders so much, and so many of them come in the beginning and they just don't know what they're doing, and I don't think it's fair to hold it against them. I think it's important to help educate them, and so a lot of times we're looking at deals that an investor may look at and think that's silly, that's a horrible idea, and my response is a little different. That could be a great idea, but you just need to have a little bit more training behind how to massage it or how to understand if there's a market. But there's also a lot of ideas out there that aren't businesses.
Yeah.
And that's good. It's good to know. I mean, one of the greatest things, the second greatest thing can happen to you as an entrepreneur is that you figure out really early your idea is not a business, so you can move on or pivot or do something like that. So I think we need to show entrepreneurs respect for what they're trying to accomplish. That doesn't mean we're going to invest in them.
Yeah.
But one of our commitments and what we do all the time with people that apply for 1845 is we communicate with them why we are not selecting them. It's not just you don't have enough traction or no, we didn't like the idea. It's here's areas where you should improve. Here's areas where you have opportunities to grow. Go do that and come back and revisit us. I think that's important.
I asked Damon John almost the same question a few weeks ago. He said exactly the same thing. I want to see somebody that's taken an idea into a business model and then check to see what the marketing engagement is. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Well, we have unfortunately come to the end of the interview. They've just told us time is up, but you know, Ryan and Trey, it's just been such a pleasure to interview you. I've really learned a lot about this whole North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area, and the unique thesis that you have, the unique business model. So we want to just thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Isaac and I, for spending this time with us.
No, thank you for being here. This is incredible.
Yeah, thank you for doing this for us and for all the other people you're interviewing. It's very important.
Thanks for having us out. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
Are you kicking us out?
Yeah, they're telling us to kick you out.
I hired a producer, and now I work for him.
Thanks, guys.
That's what they did.
Thanks, man.
so much. It's so great to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Great. Nice to finally meet you in person.
Yeah. Thanks for last week, and thanks for today. This is absolutely super valuable. If we can be helpful in any way, let us know.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Are you going to be here all week?
I'll be here till Wednesday. They'll be here till Thursday. Okay. I have to go back to Austin on Wednesday.
Thursday's a great day.
Yeah, I enjoy it. My grandfather was a professor in Florida. My mother went here. My father was back east of Mexico. He got a university degree in Mexico. So he got a scholarship here to study another year. So I got a lot of history.
Final history is all under someone.
Oh, here at Highland Park?
I do, yeah, right.
And my mother grew up in the University Park.
Yeah, we first I've been here over 10 years. Thank you. Thank you so much. So it was great. Kids were looking for elementary. Moved across the stack. It's no different. Not all that. So we don't have the hours. So I go back to talking.
I love the hours.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. Thanks again.
So it was a great interview.
It's really exciting for me to talk to somebody who had an idea, launched it, and then watched it grow into what they had dreamed that it could be. I'm surrounded. All right. Come on.
Here we go. Put on your headphones.
Your voice can carry. It's awesome.
My partner's people office next to him because his voice is so booming.
Really? Well, stay about 8-10 inches from the mic. And I'm Isaac Carter.
Isaac, take off.
Nice to meet you, man. Okay, so the producer's getting set up.
All right.
Okay.
The belt.
Yeah, what a sixth. The other five are in there. I couldn't find a place for him.
So Maynard, just tell us when are we good? We're live still, right? Okay.
All right.
So we're here with Dave Kops, CEO and co-founder of Worlds,
Right.
which is a AI in the physical world company. I don't know if I
Oh, I
said
saw. That was amazing. The video session. I wasn't able to be with you. I was in Cancun. So I apologize.
Don't apologize for being in Cancun. That's it.
Yeah, I ate a lot of really great food and Mexican people and spent some time on the beach.
All right.
Chased the baby around the beach. So no, I'm not sorry I didn't make it.
There you go. Okay.
Glad to have an opportunity to talk to you today.
So we saw that you were doing a panel discussion earlier today. So tell us a little bit about what was the purpose of that. How did you like the panel?
I loved it. It's we had a Skip Howard, who is just an amazing guy for computer vision and physical AI, and Richard Margolin, who's a robotics expert, and I'm kind of a physical AI guy. And we just had a really great panel. Talked about physical AI, kind of the transition that's happening now from language models and generative AI, now taking AI out of the back office and bringing it into the real world. So that we can start to measure and analyze and build automation into physical environments using AI.
And please jump in here, Isaac. But I when I did the pre-interview with you, I couldn't quite get my. And I ghost wrote a book for a client called AI for Inventory Management.
Wow, okay.
And he talked about using computer vision to look at grocery store shelves.
Skip does that. Yeah.
Right, and then using predictive analytics to look at the influence of the weather, world events, logistics, and then using a whole bunch of different AI so that you don't run out of products in the grocery store or you don't have overstock. You don't experience the toilet paper shortage. And that was all of a sudden it told me that was all physical AI.
It is. It's if I boil it down, like what is physical AI? It's the idea of turning what's happening in the real world into a live data stream, a live spatial data stream. So once you have what's happening in the real world stored as data, now all there is to do is build applications on top of that data that can solve problems. So we do things like safety, so we're working with one of the largest engine manufacturers in the world and in their plants, and and we built a live HSE application, which basically shows them. We built AI agents that are always looking for behaviors that are detrimental to health and safety. Like one of the things we're seeing a lot now is plants are putting automated forklifts in now, and you know, it's interesting, right? Because sometimes they hit people and things, and so. But anyways, being able to have agents, AI agents that can go in there and start to create a live data stream about what's happening and show you when these activities are happening that can cause, you know, unsafe behavior. And so that's one thing. But then we're also working, like we have a deal with the software on the largest base in the Middle East, in Qatar, helping the Air Force with understanding who's where when. We call it pattern of life, right? So how do you understand who's where when, what's where when? So who is obviously people, but right now they have lots of construction workers coming on base, but they can lose track of them. You know, so building an AI that can kind of follow them around, and with cameras and with Bluetooth badges, and trucks have transponders on them. So you think about it, it's like a smart city. You've got 200 cameras hooked up with transponders on trucks and badges on people, and it's all coming together in space and time. You know, so.
I did kind of a beta test with, we were just using Azure cognitive services, where we were monitoring people outside of secure areas.
Yes.
Not necessarily know who they are, but try to measure intent.
Yeah.
So if you are able to measure fear, anger, distress, concern, excitement, and then cycles of those emotions on somebody that's been standing outside of a bank for 30 minutes, maybe security needs to go check on them. And maybe they need to bring somebody with them when they're doing that checking. 100%.
Like on military bases, it's okay if someone stands in front and takes a picture. If that person now is sitting on the other side and taking a picture, and on the other side and taking a picture, that's a behavior that you should look into. You know, there's your case in the base. You know, so you're right. It's we're getting better and better at with AI now. It's able to do automated behavior detection. You know, so being able to even understand if someone's demonstrating a behavior that might be angry or you know, forceful or things like that. So
or even one of the things that we experimented with is somebody drove in. We have the whatever, they got the camera, they drove into the parking lot. By the time they get up to the bank, they have a custom offer printed for them, based off of the condition and information on the vehicle, and we are there because we have the picture of the cell phone.
No, that's right.
So that so much can be done, one, to improve security, but also to improve offers and experiences.
That's the big thing, because we're not always just looking for bad things, right? A lot of times you can go to one of a company's locations and understand why it's working better than the other locations. By measuring the real world and seeing how their processes are different from everybody else's, you can now start to model those processes everywhere. And so it's it's really exciting. You know, also I think, you know, with language models we've kind of run out of data. They've used all the data. They've got on the web. Everything's used it all. So there's more data locked in the real world than there will ever be in documents. And so. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the song from Cheers, I Want to Go Where Everybody Knows My Name. Well, everybody knows your name now.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. Who had the vision for this? Was this you, or?
It's me and my partner and the three founders of the company. So it's myself and Chris Rohde and Ross Bates. You guys just had Trey Bowles here.
Yes.
So Trey, after we sold our last company, Trey let us hang out on the deck. The whole open floor at that point where no one was there, and he just said, hang out here and figure out your next business. And so we went to the deck every day and threw stuff against the wall, and I think what had it happen was we started looking. We knew we wanted to stay in AI, but we didn't want to do back office AI again. Last two companies were back office AI, like what's on your screen, right?
Yeah, been there, done that.
We wanted to explore AI in the real world, and so we started looking at things like computer vision, how effed up it was, and hard to do, hard to train. It didn't work well, right? So we came up with this mantra, and it was basically, what if we could create machines that could see and sense the world like people, but on a scale that's not humanly possible? And that was the thought that we just used to kind of build the business, and we've gotten there. We're doing that now, you know. So it's went from words to reality in, you know, a couple of years.
So is computer vision like the kind of core technology of what you're doing?
I'll answer that as a kind of a yes, but computer vision is changing now because of physical AI.
Right.
Like what people know as computer vision is, draw a box around a cat or a dog or a forklift, and then your AI can go, oh, dog, cat, forklift, right?
Yeah.
This is much more than that. Now with the new AIs, with computer vision, we're able to do event detection. Like here's a plane landing and going to gate 3.
Right.
That's an event. I can capture that entire thing as a label, or here's a person, driving a forklift with and when they shouldn't be driving it. I can store that activity, so I can recognize events and activities and behaviors, and so it's not your mother's computer vision. It's not the old
It's
world.
even past like pure cognitive services.
That's right.
So it's where you're actually able to use the cognitive services to derive a business or other
Yeah.
event, and then to do a reaction program. So I was in Detroit 2 weeks ago, and my brother is he's an automation specialist. So he built a cell with a laser built into it, and a Jeep headliner would come out. He would take an image and realize that part of the part was not cut properly.
Yes.
So now he's able to see, okay, this is not a valid part.
Yes.
A year ago, they would have scrapped it. Today, the laser turns on and fixes it live.
Wow.
Now, at first, he had to be careful because the positioning, the first time he fixed it, he also cut the hydraulic lines off. Blew water out 30 feet up, hydraulic flew 30 feet up in the air. But now it's, yes, you can have the cognitive service where you can see a person in their 40s exist and they have concern on their face. So now you can also say, oh, they just entered a bank and were denied for a loan. So yes, they're concerned. And then you can also come back and do a follow-up. So not only are you able to say, it seems like the next natural step would then be able to say, okay, this part does not meet spec. Bring it back to spec. Yeah. This person should not be here.
Yes.
Find a way to intercept that.
That's right. In the old world, like in the old computer vision, you would have to have a bunch of parts with a bunch of defects and train them on the defects.
Right.
In the new world, with AI computer vision now, you can just show it 1,000 doors, and then show it one that's different. And it's an aberration detection. It doesn't have to be able to identify all the different things, it just has to know it's different. Right. So it can say, hey, something's wrong here, someone needs to look at this.
Yeah, we tried this 20 years ago, and the lighting would be enough to throw it off because the glare would make a good part look like a bad part.
100%.
Humidity could throw it off, and now the sensors are so much more advanced.
Yeah, that we can do a lot more data too, so we can we have a lot more training data, which makes the models better, faster, more accurate, all those things.
And the designs are so much more detailed and advanced now that you can upload the design, the spec.
Yeah.
And it can tell you, oh yeah, it was built to spec.
So Dave, I wanted to ask you, what stage is Worlds at right now? Have you officially launched? Are you okay? So you've already gone past the beta stage, etc. You're now in market.
Oh yeah.
Scaling. Everything. Okay.
We're about $10 million in revenue right now.
Wow.
So we're growing fast. I think the physical AI market is just now emerging. So we were in it way before it was cool. Now it's getting cool, and so same with my last business. We were about 4 years early, but when it flips fast. It's the suddenly, or the gradually then suddenly kind of thing, and it's happening right now. And we have clients like Chevron's an investor and a client. We've got the Air Force. We have people like Cummins, and we have Colonial Pipeline, and just lots of big companies. Metallus Steel.
So was there ever a stage though? Was there ever a point in your life, your early startup life, where you were not sure that you were going to gain market traction or get product market fit, or were you always sure about that? Was it always there?
I'm a little bit of a weirdo. I have an unhealthy optimism. Because I'll tell you this, I don't believe in failure.
Right.
I don't think it exists in the world. I think it's something we made up to make people feel bad. All there is what happens in the world and what you choose to do next. You know? So we like to say that we recast failure as iteration. So if something doesn't work, I look at it and go, okay, what happened? What didn't work? What can we change to make it work? Let's make that change and go back out.
Yeah, because you develop something.
That's right.
Now, okay, how do we had a startup that we built, we took it out to market, and we realized nobody wants this. No, the real estate agents that we built before us hate the very presence or existence of this thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We have IP. How are we going to monetize it? We're going to pivot it over. We made like a small change. Went back to the same real estate agents. They love it. Don't talk about commission splits, but talk about how they can monetize their awareness in the market. Now they want in.
There you go.
So failures only failures to give up, right?
Yeah, stay curious, right? Stay curious and figure it out.
We were talking to Materia, one of the co-launch World Championship winner. And I talked to him and I said, you know what, win or lose, this needs to exist. This has to be in the market. It has to be out there. So let's start building it. And if it loses, then we'll learn something.
That's right.
And somebody will come along and be successful because this has to be out there.
Because I want to tell you a story about exactly this. When I was in college at the University of Texas in the mid '80s, one of my roommates in college was a guy called Davis Tucker, and he founded Austin's first microbrewery. This is back in the mid to late '80s. It was called Pond Street Lager. Okay. And he got it in stores, etc., and it failed, quote unquote failed. Right? It wasn't profitable. He had to shut it down. But then he started another company, which was a brew pub. It was the first brew pub, and it was actually before beer laws changed in Texas so that you could have the brew pub in the same restaurant. You had to have it in a separate facility, so they actually had it in two buildings that were next door to each other. But I said, so how did you get the money for that? He said, well, everything I did with Pecan Street Lager proved to my investors that I could get a startup up and running. I said, even though it failed? I said, yeah, it doesn't matter. I got the startup up and running. I got the funding. I got it in stores. Yeah. It was working. And I suddenly realized, yeah, there's no failures.
Yeah. All there is what happens in the world and what you choose to do next. And that's I get challenged on that a lot when I tell people that. They'll say, oh, failure does exist. And they'll give me an example, And what I'll never forget is I was with a bunch of engineers, and the guy said, okay, I said failure, my statement I made was failure doesn't exist in nature, it's a human thing.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a zebra saying, do I look fat in these stripes? And he came up to me and said, okay, how about a lion, pack of lions comes up to some elephants and he kills the lead elephant. I said, okay, you're saying the elephant failed. And I said, yeah. I said, I think he's a hero. That's my story, and he saved everybody. It's amazing, it's just it's a story, right? Life's a story. Create it the way you want it to. Create the ending you want.
If a baby, for example, he has a baby, right? If a baby starts walking and falls down, we don't call that baby a failure.
That's right. Iterate, baby, iterate. Take what you've learned and balance and iterate.
Hold my hand, it's okay. Those chippy legs will be strong enough to hold you up at some point.
That's right.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. So, I mean, I think we've come to the end. They're telling us the time is up. Yeah. Dave, we're so happy that you were able to come here and share this time with us here at Dallas Startup Week. And this is not the end. This is not the last interview. Hopefully we can do another one sometime soon. Kind of catch up.
Tell them to just modify their schedule. We're having fun.
That's right.
We'll talk. We'll get you on here again later.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate what you guys do and letting us tell our story. And thanks for having me on.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dave. Thank you. And let's keep in touch. Want to know how things progress in the world.
Sounds great.
All right.
Bye, guys.
If you're just tuning in, we are here live at Dallas Startup Week, presented by DEC. And we are meeting with some very influential and just amazing startups and startup leaders. And we met the founder of DEC, who's out there re-innovating, rethinking what the venture studio experience is. And we met...
and raising the profile of the Dallas-Fort Worth area as a startup hub.
Yeah, and I think he's a little too humble because I'm telling you, DEC and the work that he's done has directly impacted legislation and banking interactions with entrepreneurs, and a lot of the things that the DEC has determined is necessary to support entrepreneurship has become a reality because people listen to this community. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, exactly. I think it's kind of typical of the Dallas-Fort Worth area because, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there is a lot of wealth, but it's understated. It's kind of subtle. Well, not exactly understated because you drive through Highland Park and University Park over here, you see some mansions, but they're hidden behind the trees, etc. But it's not, I would say that the attitude is not ostentatious. It's kind of genteel. It's kind of like, we know we're cool, but we're not going to go out and shout it to the hills. Whereas, and I don't want to start talking about Texas rivalries, but you go to Houston, they are kind of brash and they're kind of, a little bit boastful. And then Austin is like, yeah, we're cool and laid back, etc. So,
I tell you what, the entrepreneurship environment in Houston is, I love it. It's intense. It's in your face.
Yeah.
Here it's very much supportive. It's very much, you have an idea, I like that idea. Oh, I don't like that idea. Let's tweak that a little bit here and there. And very receptive. Earlier when we were interviewing people, when I pointed out, hey, I'm a little concerned about your monetization strategy. It's hard for me to understand, and I don't know how you can build a successful business that way. Immediately thanked me for the insight. He's going to work on it. In Houston, I said that exact same thing to a competitor at a pitch competition, and I got cussed out for it. And I still don't understand how well that company's gone now. They were full-time running that business for 8 years.
Okay.
And then never made a dime, didn't have a monetization strategy, and ended up closing. So for me, I'd rather somebody say, hey, help me succeed, instead of, I know everything. And I mean, we're talking with people. Dave is literally changing the way that we interact with the physical world. And he sits down and laughs and interacts with us and talks about how much he appreciates other people in the entrepreneurship community here.
Absolutely. So approachable, so nice and friendly.
It's amazing.
Nice, but yeah. No. And so here's another thing too. I want to talk, and I did want to bring up the whole viral genius thing, and uncorking or unleashing the founder's genius as the engine for their marketing. What I have found on every single interview we've done today, and I'll give you, and the latest example is the interview with Dave Cox. At a certain point in the interview, the interviewee reveals something that connects emotionally with the audience, or that's unique or super interesting. And what Dave said here, I don't know if you caught that moment. Of course you did, but that moment when he said, I don't believe in failure.
Yep.
Right? And where he kind of shifted our mindset about what failure is, and that it's like a human invented thing. And I almost feel like as though if he was going to embark on a founder-led marketing journey, that could almost be his moniker. That could almost be his slogan in a way. I don't believe in failure. In addition to what he's talking about, which is the whole physical AI thing, which could be a new category that he talks about.
Yeah, and for me, I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to win every time, and usually we do. We don't lose very often. But he made a very good point. Sometimes you have to lose a few times before you know how to win, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're learning. You're not failing. You're learning, and then you're taking that and growing.
Yeah.
I believe that we're going to be speaking with JC.
Sorry, my love.
I believe we're going to be doing
Vignette in Silicon Hills, Jillian and Vignette kind of back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they've had a steady. We're going to, we had one interviewee who was sitting very patiently over here, and he must have found a potential client that he's talking to right now. He's probably pitching his startup to somebody, what is kind of maybe the grabbing a plate of food or something, but yeah, so each one of the people that we've interviewed have revealed something
to the thesis that we have in the different markets.
The first 5 or 10 minutes are kind of like the
companies
more
in,
formal part of any interview, right?
We think of DFW
Where we
as a
ask them standard
horizontal
set of questions, and they give us kind of like their
when you look
standard
at,
answers, right?
Boston, or
And then there is a certain part
you look at the areas
during the
where
interview where
they
the interview
excel in
kind
one
of
particular
shifts.
place. I think
they kind of
DFW
reveal
excels so many
some
places.
kind of
We've got
magic
things like DFW
thing about
CPG,
them,
so we're
kind
a
of
big
some internal
CPG hub. We've got hospitality, we've got
something
oil
they're
and gas,
passionate about, or
we've
some
got
belief
energy,
that they
we've got
have
infrastructure,
that is unique.
AI. We could go on
And by the way, I wanted to introduce to you Alexander Latino.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Alexander.
So Alex is the director of the Cantalo Venture Studio. And so Alex helps us identify what ventures make a good fit in the studio and what founders really help build the culture of the overall the studio here. So I wanted to talk a bit about to Alex. Alex, your job is to select members for the venture studio that meet our objectives, meet our goals. So what are you looking for in a venture to join our studio?
Okay, thank you for the introduction, Isaac and Fernando. So let me tell you something first, because the first moment that we came to this startup week, we're having a lot of people, really good people, entrepreneurs here. We interviewed like more than 10 people today. And something that they have in common is that they want to have success in their startups. That's the reason why we're here. So basically, the common thing that they have is that they want to be success, and they want and really interested in to work with us in a venture studio.
Well, another pattern that we met a lot today was that they don't want to do it alone.
Yes.
People said that over and over again. Being a founder is lonely, and it doesn't have to be that way, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's the reason why we are here, because we need to help the startups, and they don't need to be alone in the whole process, right? So as a venture studio manager, we're looking for startups that want to not to be alone, to be in a partnership with us, work together, and to have success together.
Right. We recently had somebody come into the studio that said that they talked to another software company, and that software company gave them a suggestion, and he didn't like that. He wanted somebody that was going to do exactly what he says. He'd never been a founder before. He'd never built a product before, but he didn't want to have any pushback at all from anybody, even though we have experience in the space. So you welcome him with open arms into the studio.
Spreading lots of little bitty checks. That's correct. And something else and lots of companies.
Calls my attention. Yeah, something else that calls my attention today is the majority of the people that we interviewed today, they are alone.
Yeah.
In building their startups. So they
solopreneurs, solo founders.
Yes, solo founders. Yeah, that is correct. That caught my attention because a lot of people need to be working with company like us to make their strategy, their financial strategy, the technical strategy go to
I actually like that in DFW, companies have to build
marketing,
something there. They can't just come up with an idea.
So that's the reason we're here, Isaac, in the technical part and the product building, Fernando in AI marketing. So actually, we have a really good team here, willing to help every startup during the startup week here in Dallas.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, Alex, I think that you're going to introduce us to JC.
We fund here. We fund companies that are building traction, that are showing product market fit, that are able to showcase that their product has a customer base that's going to pay for it. Those are things that are fundamentals.
Alex, so great to interview you, and thanks for being part of our team. Okay, we're going to have JC, and it's not Jesus Christ, it's Juan Carlos.
Rodriguez.
Okay.
Hey, brother.
All right, come on, Juan Carlos. Come on down. You got to put on your headphones, or else you won't be able to hear what we're saying.
I guess so.
Which will continue
Because of,
to see
all the noise.
companies succeed here, regardless of
Hey, all
whether
right, all right.
How are you guys
Get
doing?
closer to the microphone.
it's a busy, super
Yeah,
busy.
a little bit closer, a little bit more. Yeah, perfect. I think I can hear you. Say something.
Hello there.
Hey, you're coming in loud and clear. Coming in
So
loud.
Isaac and I interviewed a bunch
All
of
right,
people
so do you want to introduce
earlier
today?
today.
You want me to? Or
JC Rodriguez from Diaz Leadership Innovation. So you actually introduced me to Fernando Labastida.
Yes.
And we've been sharing each other's network a little bit for the last, what?
That's correct.
Since November.
Perhaps 9 months or so.
Yeah. Yeah, so we are faith-based entrepreneurs. We're part of FBE, FBE now? FBE, yep. Faith-driven entrepreneurship group. And so you have a really innovative but important and timely service that you're offering. You came into my company when we were at a very, very dark point, and you helped us rebuild our sales and sales operations teams. And you did that by helping us understand, first helping me understand me and how I operate. So now in my book and on my podcast all the time, I say that I am at least learning to be driven by empathy. I love problem solving, and I love taking action. I used to have that a little bit out of order, but you helped me learn that for me to be satisfied, I need to solve problems and take action, but I can't solve problems unless I know the people that I'm working with and working for. And so you took a test that helped me know me. I know that you did the same thing with Alex.
And you did the same thing with me. I took one of your tests.
Yeah, Alex almost in tears because he learned, he discovered himself. Mm-hmm. What is that? What is the importance of that process? Why is it so important to know yourself when you're trying to build a high-performance team?
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with both of you.
Always a pleasure to see you, brother.
So the importance of knowing ourselves, I would say it's the first point for you to be successful. It's like, if you want to go somewhere, you need to first know where are you and where you want to be, right? So otherwise, it's a journey that can be very demanding in terms of energy, time, and since we are faith-driven, spiritually also you can be trained because we are called for a purpose. We have a mission, right? So how can you fulfill that mission if you don't know what are your tools?
Yeah.
What are your armor? What are your weapons?
Yeah, it's amazing. So many people say you need to be this, but we believe that we need to be who God made us to be, and then learn how to work with the people that are around us that are unique and distinctly.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I've tried to be so many things, and I have failed at those things. And we just discovered from the last person that we had to interview that there's no such thing as failures. There's just learning opportunities. I have learned through these failures that I could try and force myself into a different shape, but that's not leveraging my strengths where I can grow exponentially, right? And, you know, one of the things I realize is that this is what energizes me. This is what I'm good at. I'm good at extracting people's stories, right? And you help me discover this. You help me discover that I'm great at engaging with people, right? So tell us a little bit about this test. Tell us a little bit about what Diaz is all about. You know, and so because my understanding is that you help companies build high-performing teams by helping them to understand what are the real strengths of their employees, so that they can channel them in the most productive areas in the company or whatever they're doing, right? So,
Absolutely. Sure. Thank you so much, Fernando. So, what is important
what is important is the way we work is for the secular world is all about enabling more people to have a more conscious and meaningful life.
Yeah.
Right? So it's getting focused into the person, into the human, to serve a company, to serve himself, herself. Right? But it starts here. When how do you feel those days when you are working without passion? When you are doing something that is not connected to what
You get tired. You get tired.
you're tired.
You want to go and get something to eat every 10 minutes. You want to watch, a series on Netflix. I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Exactly. I'll give a very specific example. We had somebody on our team that was incredibly data driven and strategic. And we had her directly interfacing with clients. And that did not match her and her drivers. She was miserable. We had somebody else on our team that was very personal and very loved engaging and relating to people. And we had her writing reports and gathering and aggregating data. So she found that to be highly stressful. She's very unhappy. We took them and we switched them. And now we have highly engaged, satisfied people that are operating in their lane. Our customers are happier. And we understand more because data-driven things being accomplished and aggregated by personal people who just want to interact, that data's not going to be very good.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, you said now they're operating in their lane. I would say they're operating in their zone.
yeah.
They're operating where they're energized and where they can excel and where work feels like play, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Quoting a very good friend of mine, Bernie O'Donnell, who I met through Bean Chapa, who's a mutual friend of ours.
Right.
He says that there are three things that a high performance organization needs. They need clear goals. They need the right person in the right place. And they need leaders to nurture the right environment for those people to do the right thing.
Right.
Okay? So for the spiritual world, what we say is the highest peak of a person is to have one mind, one soul, one purpose with God. That means you are reconciled with God. Right? Everybody of us are seeking indirectly or indirectly that, I believe. So what we do at DS is we do the pre-course of reconciliation to yourself. So you get the information that you need to thrive and to become the best version of yourself. Once that you get to know what is the best version of yourself and how to use those talents, you simply become unstoppable.
Right.
So as an example, we have some clients that we got to understand out of 200 salespeople how the high performers profile is, and from now on they start bringing people with that profile that are already in the right place for the right purpose.
Okay, but there's one thing that I'd like you to explain to me is how can we have somebody like Isaac? Because Isaac is a contradiction. He is an engineer. He's somebody who's great with data. He's a data architect. He is a developer. But yet, he's great at engaging with people. He's great at interviewing. He's become a marketer. I don't mean to insult you, my dear friend Isaac, but how can we explain somebody like that with apparent contradictory areas of genius, zones of genius existing in one person?
So there are two things that you need, according to Jay Niblick. You need two things to become a genius. You need to understand very clearly what are you really good at. And number two, you need to become authentic, living and making sure that you live those talents to the full. So there are three levels. The first level is how do you prefer to interact with people and initiatives?
Yeah.
Some people are more data-driven, other people are more people-oriented, other people are more action-oriented, right? Yeah. The second level is your inner motivators. What drives you, what makes you, your why is because economical, you theoretical, you like to learn information, or simply altruistic, you want to help others. And lastly are your top talents, your natural talents.
Right.
So it's interesting. Two things. One, you came to me and told me that there was a member on my team that was incredibly economically driven, like off the chart, way above anything else. And then we did some looking around and realized she had 2 other jobs. She wasn't performing for us because the only thing she was with us for was for the money. Mm-hmm. No caring about the teamwork, no caring, nothing else there. Mm-hmm. And that test was able to spot that. But also, if you look at me, he spotted my 3 inner drivers: empathy, problem solving, and action. Take a look at my profile, at the Catalyst method. Understand your market, understand their problem, design a solution or take action to solve a problem for a real person. So I was doing engineering work because I love solving problems, not because I love engineering.
Not because you love the data and the numbers,
Right?
But you like the data and the numbers because it helps you solve a problem.
Yeah. So
Okay.
as soon as he showed me those 3 drivers, I realized, and that's how I realigned the Catalyst method into know your market, understand their problems, and then take action to solve their problems. And that is the basis of my book, Before You Build.
Essence of you.
And it's the essence of me. You help me understand that and put it into a way that I can communicate with other people.
So now what we need to do, which is what we've been doing in the past few months, is to make sure that the people who surrounds Isaac, the team that surrounds him, is completing his talents. It's orchestrating the talents,
Yep.
so everything sounds harmoniously.
So we have a group of people that need to harmoniously work together in the venture studio. Alex is amazing at that. We promoted him into that role with some feedback from JC. Javi was sort of just in one small little role. We put her in charge of the entire sales department. It's been amazing. Yeah. Jamie is more empowered to be in a more personal and account representative focused role. We've brought in a couple of new members that are focusing on the background, the data, and the analytics, and somebody else to help with the community building. And now we have a lot of things that I'm missing: the follow through, the follow up, some of those things that I'm not naturally good at. Instead of me saying I have to be good at those things, I can realize I can have a team around me that completes them.
Yeah,
so,
perfect.
But we went way over, JC. This is something we're very, very passionate about, so we could talk forever.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you so much for spending time with
Thank
us
you so
and
much.
for introducing me to Isaac here, who is almost kind of like my co-founder.
Continue doing great business, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. 5-minute break. Awesome.
Okay, we're taking a 5-minute break. Right?
Guys.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
Which will continue to see companies succeed here, regardless of whether the venture market is high or in a bubble or explode.
It's a business, super business friendly. So
Right.
think about that, and also tax efficiencies that come along with this.
Hello, guys. Hello. In the middle of all the activity, so we are going to ask the people how they are living it, how they are experiencing it. So, guys, how are you guys? Can you share us a little bit about how you guys are living this experience? What can you tell us?
Meeting here at DFW Startup Week. Yeah, so we're a company. We just set up shop. We have our U.S. headquarters going to be based in Dallas now. We're a staffing company mainly focusing on Colombia, Philippines, India. And so we came out to meet startups, business people, students, etc. There's been really good energy. We're really enjoying it so far. A lot of good interest at our table. So it's been great.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
How do you feel it? How do you like these events?
I feel fantastic. How do you feel?
Well, so excited. I mean, this is an amazing opportunity. We are having a podcast. This is the first time it's live. It's live. So we're taking advantage to share with the people You can say hey to the people. Hey, people. How you guys doing? Thank you and enjoy it. Thank you. Okay, we will keep keep going with the live because we got this is the first time we have 2 hours live. The first time we do the Catalyst Effect podcast. So we're taking advantage for this opportunity for all the startups and all the people that came today to the event. I'm just going to remember you guys that we are going to be interviewing people, meeting people from today to the 7th of the month. So we will be here basically like 4 days, 4 more days, and we will be able to interview people, meeting people, and also help with the main guys. In this case, Fernando Labastida and Isaac Carter show. We are going to be back with these guys in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, you guys can see the environment, how everybody is experiencing it.
Two, one for you, one for my dad. One for me, one for my dad. And three, one for you too.
All right, we are live at the Dallas Startup Week presented by the DEC and Capital One. So we have had just an amazing night here. We've had the opportunity to talk to so many founders. We've interviewed, how many people have we interviewed? 10 founders?
I would say about 10. Actually, probably now about 12 founders. But, you know, if you include Dave Kops and Juan Carlos Rodriguez.
And why wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm really excited because your daughter is going to come and bring us two blondies, which are the opposite of brownies. They're blondies. They're vanilla, whatever.
Yeah, I already had one. They're really good.
Really? Okay, so she's going to come and bring us those because I'm having a sugar down right now. But this has been great. I mean, even though I'm kind of tired and I'm going to sleep like a dad tonight, I could still keep on going. I could see people going because the startup energy here is so
the energy in this
electrifying.
room is electric, isn't it?
It is electric.
Everybody's excited, and the more I think about it, the more I realize Dave is right. There is no failure. Failure doesn't exist. And if you talk to the people in this room, now that's a transformation for me because I've always said I've got a very low appetite for failure. But what I really mean by that is I want to win.
Right. And that was actually something really interesting that one of our interviewees told us. Greg from Quick Raise.
Yep.
Greg from Quick. Hold on a second. Okay. Greg from Quick Raise. Basically, you helped him come up with an app for youth sports teams to raise money, right? So Greg is a coach, ex-coach. And he says he doesn't believe in failure either. He believes in winning. Yep. So we have somebody new here. Go ahead and make the introduction, Isaac.
Angie Ness.
Yeah, Angie Neese.
Neese, I am so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Tell us about yourself, Angie.
Well, I am field marketing manager for Texas. Yeah, with JustWorks. We're an HR technology platform for small businesses. We support the small business ecosystem for as little as 2 employees to about 150 employees. Sure. But yeah, no, we work with small businesses throughout the country, but I'm focused on Texas. And so Austin and Dallas is a big market for us. And so we've been a part of Dallas Startup Week for the last 3 years and love every week, every year.
Yeah. All right, so HR services, small businesses, especially here in Dallas and in the U.S., have some very specific needs. There's a lot of risk points for them if they're not aware or partnered with the right vendors.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What is some of that, especially today? Yeah. What does some of that look like?
Well, I think the big thing, talking to some of our customers and some of our founders within the community, it's really, they try to keep everything to themselves. They think that they can wear all of these different hats, and they're up late, they're getting letters trying to get in compliance
Lone
with
Ranger,
the state.
right?
Yes. And so many people are telling them, hey, you've got to start outsourcing. You have to start building your team to help you. Having a CPA, having a good lawyer, having an HR solution, so that you're not an HR professional, most likely. You're not. For JustWorks, we're helping them to make sure that they're going and working on their vision and working on building their culture and their product versus having to figure out state laws and onboarding people, and that may not be their expertise, most likely.
Policies.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially if you live in Texas and then you're trying to onboard somebody in California or Utah, Argentina, it's tricky.
And we've had, so I know of a large publicly traded company here that explicitly says we do not hire in California. So they are a remote, flexible workspace company that won't hire from California at all. They said it's because the HR regulations there are too complicated.
Too complicated.
But then that also dramatically reduces access to some really talented people, especially in AI and cloud-based computing. So how can you help kind of solve that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got dedicated specialists that are always learning about what's changed in each of the states, what's new. And that's just, an extra support staff really for you in any of the states that you're wanting to bring on new talent. And we've had a lot of influx also, not only, California being a difficult state to bring in people, but also people wanting to hire an engineer in Argentina or, good people in Brazil or, India or something like that.
Argentina is hard. I have engineers in Argentina, and we have to frequently change the banks because we'll pay them 3 or 4 times, and then their bank will say
This is the devaluation of their peso.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And potential conflict of money laundering laws. All sorts of. Yeah.
It's a nightmare to try to navigate that on your own, and so for us, we're helping them out in that.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So at what stage of a startup's growth, company's growth, should they consider hiring a company like JustWorks?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. For us, we can support you as little as 2 employees. We probably go up to about 100, 150. But it really comes to that point in time where you're like, okay, I've been paying contractors, but now I'm ready to really bring on some W-2 employees that are going to build my culture, build my team, be that starting crew. That's when I think that it's probably an opportunity for you to get more in regulation, I guess. Like, okay, we've got a payroll product. When you're ready to offer a 401k and benefits, then you can upgrade to another product. We kind of follow you as you grow.
Yeah.
But I would think, when you're ready to start really building out that initial team.
Sure. Okay.
Now, do you also help? So for me, when I went to when it was 5 or 6 employees, we all kind of meshed, we kind of worked together. I didn't need to have a policies book, an employee handbook, and all those things. When I got to 30 people, it started getting a little complicated. And then I would go to people and say, hey, where are you? It's 8:55. You're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock. Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
We have a published schedule. Oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
So you start... At some point, there are inflection points where these other things are suddenly a lot more necessary. Do you help with those?
Yeah. And I mean, even at the 2 employee stage, we have templates that you can utilize that we can get you going on your handbook, and so you can just start it from the beginning. And what are those days off? What is the policy on coming in to work, the dress code, and all of that stuff. So you can address it from the beginning, and build on it as you grow. Yeah. And so you're not having to deal with it at 30 and making, some people upset because they thought the policy was this or whatever. So I think starting it from the get-go.
Imagine we have employees in Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Argentina. They all have different holidays. Every country has different holidays. They never line up with the holidays here.
No.
So I have clients in the U.S. and they call me. They called me on Friday, San Domingo Day.
Oh yeah.
Hey, half my team's gone. They're just gone. Where are they? I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Let me make some calls. And wouldn't you know it? Everybody in Honduras, in Nicaragua, is off for this.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, actually, it was Friday. the whole team was off because it was what was it, Santo Domingo or
Santo
something?
Domingo, yeah.
Santo Domingo holiday or whatever.
Yeah.
But in El Salvador, they celebrate Santo Domingo for 3 days next week.
Right.
So
But just think about that. If you don't have a solution, whatever it is, you're like keeping it up on a spreadsheet or on your Google Calendar or whatever. It's like that old key map. You're like F1, who's off right now? Like trying to figure that out.
yeah,
But at least with a solution, you're going to have that all within that same platform. So it makes it a lot easier.
So I want to understand a little bit about your international services, because you mentioned Argentina and other countries. Are companies hiring employees in different countries to manage their operations in those countries? So suppose it's a U.S. company and then they open up an office, a sales office or a manufacturing facility in Argentina or Mexico City or whatever. Or are they also outsourcing functions that normally would have been done in the United States before Zoom and stuff, but now they're outsourcing it there, and you can also help manage with that?
I think a little bit of both, but I feel like the most is the first option that you said. I feel like there's a lot of people that are finding talent. They're not trying to outsource because getting outside of the United States. They're just finding this incredible talent. Like they just want the best people on their team.
Okay.
And so if the best person on their team is in Ireland, then, they want that person on their team. So that's what at least I'm seeing.
Yes.
When I talk to our customers, that it's more just trying to find the best talent.
So we have a client that was very invested in DevOps culture, and they were looking for very specific skill sets in DevOps, which was very challenging to find. So they came to us and said, find these folks anywhere in the world that they are, because we need a top-notch team that can support these cloud-based kind of SRE combined with DevOps. We need these folks. We need them now. Go get them. And we have one in Mexico, one in Nicaragua, one in Nigeria. And for them, they wanted the talent. They weren't trying to save money. What they were trying to do is make sure that they had access to the talent that they needed to take their business to the next level.
Yep.
And that's a trend that I'm saying. And I don't know if you'd like to talk about that, but what I'm saying is that people are not outsourcing for cost cutting anymore. Well, at least that's not the only reason why they're
Some
outsourcing.
people are.
Yeah.
And for some roles, absolutely.
No, but yeah, exactly. Let me preface that by saying it's not the only thing, but I'm saying it's an increasing reason why people are outsourcing is because talent has no borders, right?
Right.
They're just going to find the best people they can, no matter where they are in the world, right?
Yeah, agreed, 100%. From the customers that I talk to, that's it. It's just trying to find the best. I mean, you're this small tech startup and you want to be the next unicorn, and it takes that top talent. And so wherever they are, that's where we're going to be.
And everybody's implementing AI right now. And then you see Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Meta, $100 million sign-on bonuses and crazy salaries. And now we're startups.
Yeah.
How do we compete? And the answer is you have to be able to go anywhere where the talent is and make sure that you can engage them.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I don't want to hear that I don't have access to the same 401k or the same health insurance options or the same vacation options that my coworker does or my neighbor does just because I'm in a different place than you.
Right. I think that's a huge thing too, is just making sure that you grab that top talent, but you're offering those same benefits that an enterprise company would.
And so that's what JustWorks does. So JustWorks can provide the benefits. What about in terms of health?
Health,
getting them the computer equipment or whatever, travel expenses.
Yeah, I mean, the travel expenses we are not going to take, but we have a lot of different partners.
That's commoditized at this point.
Right. Okay.
For us, it's really the benefits. If you're wanting to be a 5 or 6, 7 person company, but get these enterprise level benefits at a great cost for you, and 401k and just a lot of stuff. Like if you went off the street and you did it by yourself, it would be too much, too costly.
Yeah, and Fernando, I don't know if you ever bought health insurance off the exchange before, but it is not a good experience.
It's expensive. It's not the best coverage.
Nobody takes it.
Yeah, it's just it's like so boggles my mind that you're trying to uplift the founder and the entrepreneur and living the American dream, and then we make it so difficult for them.
Yeah. Every hospital in DFW that we have found has stopped taking Blue Cross insurance off the exchange. So we canceled our Blue Cross coverage because if we're paying cash for everything anyway, why are we also paying for health insurance?
Right.
So, and now we have 3 or 4 employees working in the U.S. with us. I have to offer them health insurance. I mean, even just morally, their families deserve health insurance.
Yeah.
They need health care, and not just insurance, because you can have insurance today and not have health care.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to be competing with publicly traded companies that have top-notch benefits if I don't have some sort of partner that helps me there.
Right.
And
Right.
JustWorks has an amazing reputation in that space.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the process of engaging with JustWorks, like, how to hire you and the onboarding experience, etc.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is that you can go online and you'll see all of our pricing, transparent pricing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you'll show all of our different products. You can.
So I don't have to talk to 3 layers of sales.
You don't have to talk to 3 layers. You'll know exactly what's on your bill. No hidden prices or trying to figure out what your bill what it actually means on there. So you can start there, go through the website, and request stuff online. We've always got people here in Dallas working at some different events. Dallas Startup Week. We do a lot with the Dallas Entrepreneurial Center, the Deck Network, Create, Fort Worth. Yeah, so you'll see us around, and of course you can always contact me and I can get you to where you need to go.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Yeah, thank you.
I did not even know that you all existed, and now I know, and it's a great solution.
Well, we appreciate it. Yeah, we're just here for the small business. It's our passion.
So I knew you existed.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Y'all have a great time at Dallas Startup Week. Bye-bye.
All right, and I think we are going to go on to our next interview.
Yeah, Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor is here. Come on down. All right. Here we go. Put on your headphones and get closer to the microphone so we can hear you.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sounds
We
great.
can hear you loud and clear.
All right.
All right, so go ahead and make the introduction, Isaac.
So, Josh, I know you because you asked me who told me I could put this table here. And
I did.
Yeah. And it turns out it looks like it's working out okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about you, Josh.
So I'm the executive director of the Spears Institute, which is the host sponsor for the DFW Startup Week.
Awesome.
You can see my logo right under there, just under Capital One.
Nice. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Spears
Title
Institute.
sponsors.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So, and then what does the Spears Institute do, and what do you do for them?
So our mission is to help entrepreneurs, be they SMU students, SMU alumni, get connected with all the resources they need to start businesses. So that has an educational component.
Mm-hmm.
It has a outreach component, which, this for us is bringing the best of DFW entrepreneurship to campus.
Right.
And having students show up and get to meet everybody. And then it also has an events component where we really like to see if we can encourage the community to come to campus here and get to see the beautiful facilities, and at the same time bring the best of all of the resources that they can to help students be successful.
Okay, that's actually a really cool mission. It's a really cool mission.
Mm-hmm.
And so as the director,
yep,
right, is your job really kind of more development, looking for funding opportunities or talking to partnerships?
No, actually, you know what? We are very fortunate that the Spears Institute was created with the largest gift from a non-alumnus in the history of SMU.
Wow.
And so, that's Dr. William S. Spears. He's the chairman of a company called Synergistic in town. And that's incredibly generous of him. And as a result, I don't have to fundraise at all.
Right.
We have significant amount of money that we can put to all of the purposes that I just said, including investing in student startups, hiring a great team, being able to, do beautiful things like this.
Right.
It's amazing. So I know of a lot of universities that have education support, but it's kind of a new thing for universities to start having entrepreneurship support and driving their students into entrepreneurship. How did that come about? Did Dr. Spears just walk up to you and say, here's your check, go with it? Or Was there something more?
It's been a growth area in higher ed for some time. I would say over the last 10 years, through a variety of different factors, it's really exploded. And so, if you go back, there was very few centers like this around the country. And now, recently GCEC, which is a association group which brings all of these folks together, there was 350 directors from around the country. And so I wish I would say that SMU was the first in that sense. We've had the Carruth Institute, which has been here 35 years, which is an educationally focused endeavor. But we think we'll catch up very quickly. And so I think you could name on two hands the institutes around the country in other schools with the capacity that we have and the size of the endowment that this institute on its own has. Now, if you couple that with all the things that Dallas has going for it, the growth, the trends, the number of corporations, the favorable tax environment, the affordable cost of living, and then SMU's, that's right, and SMU's role within that, and all of the success we've had reaching R1 status, all of the success we've had moving to the ACC, we think that's a perfect mix. And, we believe the Spears Institute, in the broader context, is an asset which will bring a tremendous amount of capacity for the city. And I would just give a shout out to some of our other sponsors, the McKinney Innovation Fund, sponsors like Capital One, Dallas Meetup, Dallas Innovates for DRC, the DEC Network. These partners, as we've sort of come onto the scene, they've been instrumental for us in, building these relationships and getting this sort of cross-pollination of folks in the community and what we can do here at a university, which is educationally focused and helping foster the next generation of entrepreneurs.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the energy here today has just been, it's just electric. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and Isaac and I were just kind of commenting about the startup ecosystem here in this Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's very supportive of each other, it seems like.
It is. And, it's such a wonderful place to be and a wonderful community. It kind of has to be because it's very geographically dispersed. So you don't want to get in the car and drive for an hour if you're not going to meet up with your friends.
Right. Right.
But we've found, there are all of these threads that run through different parts of the community, and one common thing is love of SMU.
Yeah.
So without fail, everybody in any event like this, and you walk around, it takes like one or two conversations, and I found an SMU alumni, and they're just like, man, this is so incredible.
I have, so my grandfather was a professor here. My mother went here. All of my uncles except one. All my uncles and aunts went here except for one.
Well, there you go. Right? There you go.
And I have uncles and aunts who are from one political spectrum extreme to another. I have one who's very much of a liberal, bordering on the socialism, and another one who is far Trumpster, and then everything in between.
Yep.
And they're all diehard SMU fans.
Yep.
Like my very liberal uncle, he lives and dies and suffers for the Mustangs.
Yep.
And their football endeavors. He criticizes the University of Texas for the death sentence against so like I could see the passion in my own family for SMU.
Yeah.
I had a question for you. How did you get involved personally with the Spears Institute? What brought you here, and why do you do this?
I was teaching as an adjunct in the business school, and I had come off of a successful liquidity event with a startup I was participating with. I was one of the leadership there out in LA. And so I was looking for my next thing to do. And the gift had come along, and Dr. Spears, as a business leader, he really wanted someone from a business background to be in the institution helping run things from more of a business perspective versus a traditional academic. And so I saw the opportunity and thought, well, this could be something really interesting to be a part of. And I wasn't doing anything else. So
might as well.
So I met with him. I thought, well, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Right.
And I'm here almost 2 years later now, and I'm loving every minute of it.
What's your favorite part of doing this?
Oh my gosh. So we have, I didn't mention this, we have 19 students 11 teams that are about to graduate in a demo day. It's coming up on August 21st. I'm going to do a little bit of self-promotion here. I hope that's okay.
That's fine.
They've been in a really intensive 12-week program. It's our version of an accelerator. And, they're practicing their pitches right now. We're going to have them on a panel tomorrow.
Right.
And this is really the first time we've put them in front of a big audience.
Right.
And so I went over there, see them practicing. Of course, they're very nervous. But if I think about how far they've come in 10 short weeks, and then it's a couple more weeks to the demo day, that makes me feel incredibly proud. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to take students that have dreams and give them all the tools they need to be successful, and watch them go from 0 to 100, vertical takeoff to be successful entrepreneurs, and then get them connected with people who can then fund their companies.
In 10 short weeks. I mean,
10 short weeks.
That's amazing, because that is not a long time, right? And in that time, it seems like as though they're completely transformed and they have something that's ready to go to market almost. Or
I like to think of it as, they already had the potential. It was within them, and they just needed a little bit of a nudge, right? The right set of conditions to help them unlock what they had the potential to do, and then it pops. It's magic.
It's amazing what
it's
happens.
Really
when you
incredible.
Take the right person and put them in the environment and give them the opportunity to grow into their true potential.
Right. Yeah. It's an amazing thing to see. It really is. And so, they're still going to be nervous tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I'm proud of every single one of them, and they're going to continue to grow, continue to rise, and we'll see them on stage in a couple of weeks. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that every single one of those students received $10,000 from the Spears Institute, non-dilutive funding to participate in the program.
Wow.
And every single team has the opportunity to earn up to $100,000 in the form of a safe note once they graduate from the demo day.
Wow. Okay, but that money has to be designated to certain.
It's an investment in the startup.
Right. Okay.
So it's a safe note. So that would be a convertible note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And is that sort of the plan to help continue growing the institute's endowment?
Yeah. Well, we're not looking to be a VC in this endeavor, and so I think it's important to teach these students and these founders that when you receive money, there's some obligations that go along with that.
Absolutely.
That's the primary reason for making it a safe note. Obviously, if one of these students is successful, it would recycle straight back into the endowment, and that would be delightful. But that's not the main reason. The main reason we're doing it is because we fervently believe that SMU can play at the national level in entrepreneurship. We have all the money to do it, and we have a pedigree, and we have a history to be able to do it. And this is the right set of ways and things that we can bring to bear to make that happen. And we could continue to do this for the next 5 years and not have to raise another dime if we didn't want to.
Wow. It's amazing. I have seen a lot of VCs that have all the money, and they throw all the money out there, and then they sometimes they bring very precious little back. So having the money is one thing, but the environment and access to the coaches and the culture to really propel people to be the best versions of themselves, but also to know what it takes to be successful. And then access to the talented founders. Those are almost more likely to bring a return than just having access to the funds.
I think so. And by the way, I want all the VCs to be part of what we're doing here as well. All of the angel networks, N10, Swan, Countdown Angels, C10, Live Oak's been up here. We have RevTech as part of our ecosystem. I believe that you need a lot of different partners doing many different things because they all have different theses that we're working towards. They have different LPs. What I see, you need someone to spark. You need someone to just get the thing going. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build that flywheel and that momentum so that, in a few years, hopefully, and it's already happening, but hopefully more of it happens, you see these other players come into the ecosystem and you're like, wow, SMU, how do they do this? And I'm like, this is how we did it.
Yeah. A lot of VCs do kind of get, they kind of get a bad rap, But the fact you get some of them that say, "Hey, I'll throw money at anybody that we think will make us money and give us more back." But then you have other ones that really know and bring a lot of value to founders and organizations in a specific lane.
Yep.
And when you have the right partners like that, and
Yep.
then you have the right environment for support, it is just amazing the catalyst that comes from that.
Yeah, we've and I will just say, to give another shout out, we've found some amazing VCs that love being a part of what we're doing. That take the long view. They're betting big on Texas. They're betting big on Dallas, and they're betting big on SMU.
Right.
And I just think that'll grow over time.
Yeah. So I got a question here. If I had a kid who wanted to, who's going to SMU and wanted to participate in this program, what would they need to show? What qualities would they need to have in order to be kind of selected to be part of the program?
It's a great question. We had 40 teams apply for this program, and we admitted 11. And the main criteria are, you have to have something demonstrated that you've tried to build, and had received some level of feedback. Right?
Gotcha.
It's not just like, I woke up this morning and thought about this. You have to been working on it for a while.
Right.
And the second thing is that we look for they've engaged some way in an educational sense in entrepreneurship.
Right.
They've come to a pitch competition. They've come to a couple of networking events. And then the last thing is like, okay, are they going to dedicate their summer to this?
Yeah.
Are they going to show up 4 days a week, or are they going to try to do this as a side hustle?
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. So basically, you want to know that they're committed.
100%.
Yeah. And that they've done something, et cetera. Not that they have the best engineering team or the best idea, et cetera, but that they have spent some time working on this. They're dedicated. They're passionate about it, and that they're going to stick with the program.
Yep.
Yeah.
We actually, the engineering team's not a necessity. Most of these, if they're coming from the Cox BBA side, they've figured out how to, hire contractors and the like. But we have engineers in residence that can help them write code.
Right.
We have a designer in residence that can help them make everything look beautiful. We have legal services that we're offering them discounted for free. We also have things like tech credits, marketing credits, and the like. So they're getting a lot from the program.
It kind of sounds like almost like 1845 Venture Studio in a way, right? Where they're getting support.
1845 Venture Studio is a great partner for us. I'm really excited to see what Trey's going to do there.
Awesome.
Yeah, we interviewed them about an hour ago on the same stage over here.
Well, so we are being told that it is time to wrap up.
That's okay.
Josh, thanks so much.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Josh, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yep.
Really excited to hear about what SMU is doing with the Spears Institute. Awesome.
All right. Well, good luck, guys. That was fun.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So Isaac and I have. We started. I think at. When did we start? We started interviewing people at 11 in the morning.
We did our first interview at 11 o'clock.
At 11, and now it's almost 9 o'clock at night. So from 11 to 9, that's 10 hours straight.
And I'm seeing it in your eye a little bit.
I'm kind of seeing it in your eyes a little bit too. In fact, you gave me kind of this vacant stare a few minutes ago, and then you kind of woke up again. But one of the things that I wanted to bring up, which was something that just kind of dawned on me, So like our reticular activating system, my reticular activating system has been firing on all engines. And I noticed something with like the overall pattern of everybody we've interviewed, the entrepreneurs and the investors, et cetera. And there's one thing that's very clear about this, and this is going to get a little woo-woo, a little bit, out there, quantum physics, engineering, or belief, spiritual stuff. But entrepreneurs have to have a huge level of belief in themselves and what they can achieve. And it's almost like as though they are using their mind to visualize something that does not exist yet, and they're willing it into existence. Right? They are literally they had to change their belief system, their mind, their subconscious, in order to bring something into existence. Kind of like the way God spoke the world into existence. That's what the entrepreneurs are doing.
Yeah, and what I've noticed is the successful entrepreneurs that we've talked to. They've always said that they knew themselves, and then they understood their market, they knew their audience, and they became very intimately aware of the problem, and then they created a solution for a problem that was experienced by a known person. And then they experimented with that solution in the market, and they found the right community of people to work with, the right vendors, the right funding partners, the right banks, the right team, and all of that. Everybody has this impression that entrepreneurs are like the lone wolf and they're out there by themselves. And even the people that talk to them about being solo founders, they talk about the solo founders, they also talk about their team and their partners and their customers that have come with them as an active part of their ecosystem. If you're doing it alone, you're going to fail alone.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've learned from Trey and David and all these folks is make sure you find your tribe.
Yeah. And if you can find a tribe of customers too, if you kind of if they're welcomed into their associations or their meetups or their, they go to Cheers and and Norm Macdonald is there, et cetera, then that's another part of just being part of an ecosystem of a community.
Well, we have been live here with our first ever live podcast of the Catalyst Effect at Dallas Startup Week, presented by the Deck. And this has been a awesome experience. I want to take a moment to thank our team, thank Maynard Aragon and Alexander Latino, and our production assistant, my daughter Yana.
Yana Carter.
That's right.
Thank you so much. She's been instrumental in getting people signed up, et cetera. Maynard has been doing all the production behind the scenes. Alexander's been
2 weeks, 3 weeks preparing for it all. So you can't do these things alone, not at the scale that the people at DEC and Dallas Startup Week and even the Catalyst Effect, not at the scale that we do them. So appreciate the people that are around us. I appreciate you, Fernando.
Appreciate you too, Isaac. Yeah.
So this has just been an amazing first day. This is the first day of Dallas Startup Week. Every single day, there's exciting things happening. I was told that there's AI, but more of a later round startups are going to be on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited about Thursday. You won't be able to be here, but I'm going to have a blast. So
without me,
but
you'll still have your team, so you won't be alone.
Our team is here. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm calling it a wrap here for the first ever live Catalyst Effect at Dallas Startup Week.
Right. Now I need to
find that blondie.
Yeah, find that blondie that Yana supposedly was going to bring us.